our 450 power rankings for the 2025 SuperMotocross season with supercross and motocross combined. We have 22 riders to go through, and there's a lot of hot takes in this, okay? I haven't even seen Doc's rankings yet. So,
yes.
and he was telling me that it's going to be insane. So let's just jump right into it. All right. Let's just jump right into it. Number 22, I personally have Dean Wilson, and this is more because he's not doing the full season. So that's why he's only doing a few rounds, but he's technically one of those privateer factory guys. Obviously, if he was doing the full round, I would have him higher. But since he's only doing like 4 or 5, I wanted to put him on the list regardless because that's the boy. And I just have him at 22.
Yeah, it's crazy. Kyle Chisholm is 675,000 years old.
He's doing every round. Okay. That's the goal right there. Chiz is going to chiz.
That's true. But he's also like as old as my dad. So.
That is also true. So that's your 22nd pick.
Yeah, that's my 22nd pick.
All right. So, yeah, I mean, I totally understand that. My 21st pick is also Kyle Chisholm. Shout out to Kyle. But, yeah, that's the next on the list. He's obviously on the factory Suzuki team, or I guess you would consider that the factory Suzuki team, right? So, and I would say he's like I don't know what you want to call it, the worst guy on that team, but he's also one of like the best guys on that team because he's always making main events, and Chiz is going to chiz. If you guys have ever played fantasy, you always bet on Kyle Chisholm making the main events. All right. That's just what it is.
It's true. I have Dean Wilson for 21st. It's really not that different. I just felt like 22nd for Dino's disrespectful, because of his grandpa videos.
Bro, so. I only put him there because he's only doing like 4 rounds. That's all I was saying. Okay. If he was doing the full season, he would be higher. Okay.
Yeah.
So
I think Kyle Chisholm has 22 seasons under his belt.
For real. Probably even more than that, man. Shout out to Kyle though. If you guys didn't know, Kyle also makes YouTube videos. I didn't know if you know that.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, he makes vlogs for the Supercross.
That's fire. Ben Gay sponsor. Sorry. I'm sorry. Kyle, I love you. I'm also like 30 years old, so it just takes one to know one.
Yeah, shout out to Kyle Chisholm. All right, getting into the top 20 here, and this is a kind of a hot take for myself. I think.
Yeah, it's disgusting.
I personally put Shane McElrath at 20th because my reasoning for this. Okay, yes, he won the Australian Supercross title as well as the World Supercross title in the 250 class. Yes, he was riding phenomenal. Okay, but in the 450 class, I think there are guys better than him. As well as, I don't know what team he's going to be on. So I personally don't know how that's going to work. Is he going to miss rounds? He's going full privateer. I'm assuming he's going to have a deal done by the time Supercross starts or whatever. But I really don't know what team he's going to be on. So that's why I have him at 20th. He could potentially move up on this list throughout the season. At the end of the year, he probably will move up. But he didn't have a great year last year. He averaged 14th in Supercross and 17th in Motocross with a 15 average. So, yeah, he probably could have gone up a little bit, But my gut's just feeling like, hey, like, he's just going to be a little bit back on towards down, like, the lower end of the rankings here for me.
Yeah, that's gross. He's definitely going to be...
I'm sorry, Shane. I'm sorry.
Yeah, he's definitely going to be at least top 15 strictly off of his thumbnail game on YouTube. It has nothing to do with me helping with those. I'm going with Colt Nichols because Coltington did just get very hurt. I guess not really hurt, but did get hurt and has been off the bike a little bit, and also Suzuki. So
I mean
Colt.
that crash was gnarly too.
That was insane.
At Australian World Supercross.
Tire
like tapping
unlucky.
That crash too is like super unlucky, man. Like the odds of that happening, I feel like 1 in 100, bro. It's insane. Okay, fair enough. You know what my 19th pick is? Colt Nichols.
Yeah. So, we're not too far off here.
So, I mean, for me, Colt, he's going to be on that Hep Suzuki team he signed late last year. He's coming off of injury from World Supercross. He didn't do extremely well in motocross. However, he does average like a 13th finish in Supercross, but his average total for the year is 20th. Hopefully, he can come in a little bit more healthier. I know he's probably not riding right now because of the injury. So, I probably should have put Shane a little bit higher. But
yeah,
hey,
that's crazy.
Shout out to Colt. I have him 19th.
Yeah, Colt does have a lot of aura too. So for 19, we're gonna go Oldenburg.
Okay, I feel that.
Honestly, beta. That's I don't like kind of. I just don't know that bike's figured out yet. It's still odd, you know. So
They didn't have a great year last year. A lot of bike failures, crashes. A lot of guys didn't like it. I mean, I heard a story that John Short, who was like a pickup for them, decided to go back to the Kawasaki because he didn't like the bike. That was just a rumor, but you know what I mean? And Colt was on that team last year, and he was like, I'm out. And he signed a 2-year deal. So
I have also heard from various chirping birds that it's odd. It's an odd motorcycle. So yeah, Mitchell's very talented. I mean, I hope they figure the bike out. It would be sweet to have another like front runner bike, you know, a bike capable of wins. I just don't know, or even top 10s. I just don't know that it's there.
I feel that. Okay, so going into our 18th spot, I have Justin Hill. There's another guy that I'm not quite sure what's going to happen with him in Supercross.
Bro.
Like, I don't know if he's going to be on Team Tedder again this upcoming year.
Yeah, I don't know.
He's actually really good at Supercross, bro. Like, he came in last year and rode phenomenal in Supercross.
I mean, he is a
averaged, he averaged 15th place in the 450 class. He averaged 16th in motocross when he did race. So, I mean, he has the potential to get those top 15s, top 10s, in my opinion. So I have him at 18th because I'm just uncertain how that year's going to go for him. I really don't know if he's racing the full season, full series. So that's why I kind of have him low. But I do believe if he does race, he is going to do extremely well. And that's why I have him ahead of some of the guys I put below him. So
yeah, that's fair. I guess it's kind of an unknown on where he's going to be. Personally, we're at 18, right? Correct. I have Benny Bloss.
Okay.
Which is another beta. I'm putting him above Mitchell strictly because he's like 6'7", and that deserves some respect.
He is freaking tall, bro. He is extremely tall.
But he is large.
He makes the bikes look extremely small.
Yeah.
Extremely small. Hey, that's fair enough. Fair enough. Yeah. At 17, I went with the beta rider Mitchell Oldenburg. So basically same concept of what you were describing with Mitchell. New team, bikes, don't really know how that bike's going to work.
Yeah.
But he is a phenomenal rider with Supercross. He didn't race outdoors last year, but with just strictly Supercross, he was a 12th place guy roughly. So if he could figure that bike out, potential top 15s. I know he's going to be making mains, but it's all really dependent on that bike, like you said.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. 17, Justin Hill. Yeah, we're not really varying too much here. Same things.
No, we're not.
He's really good in Soupy. When, you know, like, I don't know his program. I don't know if he's like, sometimes I feel like the Hill brothers just show up and do well, you know, like they're like literally on the couch and then like, hey, let's race Supercross this weekend.
They're so talented, bro.
Yeah, and then they just do really well. If he's like training and trying to do well, then I would assume he will do really, really well. I also don't know if he's going to race outdoor. So Justin Hill like has the talent to be much higher. I just don't know too much about the program and where they're at. So I had to put him kind of low there, brother. Kind of low.
I feel
he's
that.
a sheriff though, ex-sheriff. So that's
cool. Okay, so for number 16, I have Mitchell's teammate here, Benny Bloss. Same concept as what Doc said here. The reason why I put him there is I think he's going to do extremely well. He did extremely well last year when he was healthy. Did get hurt a little bit. He did make main events. He was riding in that top 15. That bike, though, is a question mark. I do think he's going to be a little bit better than Mitchell, so that's why I kind of put him right above Mitchell. And he's also like 6'7", bro. Like I don't know how he rides a motorcycle.
Got to be worth at least a point.
Yep.
Might be my first hot take. I don't know if it's that hot, but Christian Craig,
16th?
Hear me out. He's been off the bike, or was off the bike, for a very long time. And that's pretty much my only basis on that. I'm a huge Christian Craig fan. Huge. And I also know his role at Star, right, has taken a little bit of a different direction, more than, like, obviously he's racing, but it's more of like a kind of guidance,
development.
Development side of things. So I don't know. Absolutely has the talent to be passing everyone in the whoops. I don't know. I think he was off the bike for a really long time. And we'll just see. But yeah, I think that most of the guys on this list haven't been above him, haven't been off the bike for a really long time, and are equally as talented.
I mean, to be fair, that Husky, I don't think suit him that well. I think the Star bike will do wonders for him.
Does the Star not fit anybody?
That is very true. That is very true. I think he's back with the crew that he won a championship with. So I think your 16th spot for Craig is going to go up higher throughout the year. Coming off of injuries, knee injury, that elbow injury, like I totally understand the 16th spot, because guess what? I put him 15th for that exact reason. Yeah. So I don't think it's necessarily a hot take, to be fair. I think he's coming in hurt. He's not a title contender. He's not a top 10 guy just yet, but once he gets healthy, I mean, we all saw what he could do on a 250. We know what he could do outdoors on a 450. We saw it a couple of years ago. So I expect him to be higher in the ranks by the end of the year.
I would love to see it, and definitely think he's capable. There's just a lot of question marks there for me.
Yep. Okay, so going in at number 14th, I have Dylan DF. I'm not saying his last name because I get roasted every single time.
Wait. What about 15? You missed 15.
No. Oh, I did my 15. My bad. My bad. My 15 with Christian Craig. What is yours?
Joey Savacci. I don't know. Absolutely did great in the World Supercross and or Australian Supercross stuff. I don't know.
I really don't know either, to be honest with you. But
I don't know.
He was battling with Tomac in that World Supercross stuff. So he has his speed.
Yeah, I mean, fair. I don't know. I just feel like it's just like MX bikes, okay? When you get onto a pub lobby and there's just somebody there that is keeping up with you, and you're like, wow, this person's really fast. And then when it comes to qualify for a pro race, the cream rises to the top, brother, okay? And it's just not the same. And I kind of just feel like, I don't know, he was going very fast. That is true. That is a very fair point. And I could see him doing really well, being much higher than 15th, but at the same time, I don't know.
I feel you. I totally get it. He's on a new team this year, Firepower Honda. So that should be something to take note of. He's coming off of a 250 last year. He didn't even race Supercross last year because of the Triumph situation that he was in. I expect him to do a little bit better than 15th, and you'll see that here in a bit. But for my 14th spot, I have Dylan DF, number 14. Not saying his last name because I can't say it. I can't pronounce it. I get roasted every time. You say it.
Fernandez?
I say it wrong every time. I say it like Dylan Fernandez. I don't know, dude.
Hey,
don't judge me, okay?
Fernandez is crazy. There's no N before the A.
Fernandez? I don't know.
Ferrandis? I mean,
Ferrandis?
I was homeschooled.
Bro, I suck at pronunciation, okay? Don't judge me, okay?
It's okay.
But I have him 14th. He's struggling. He struggled on that Honda a little bit last year in Supercross. He averaged right around 10th spot. In outdoors, he was a 10th place guy as well. But I just don't know really what to expect in Supercross when all the guys are going to be healthy this upcoming year.
Mm-hmm.
We also have some new players in the mix too with Joey Prado. And I just don't know what to expect with Dylan in Supercross. Outdoors though, let's be real. He's going to be like a top 10, top 7 guy outdoors. He's a motocross champion, right?
Yeah.
But going into the season, I just have him at number 14 for 14th.
Yeah, same. I think it's a pretty good spot. It's exactly where I have him too.
Yeah, so, all right, moving on. Number 13th, I have Joey Savacci. So 2 spots up from your pick at 15th. Same reasons as we kind of described here a little bit ago. I think Joey's going to do good this year. First year on the Firepower Honda, he's going to be racing 450s the whole entire year, which is going to be better than his season last year. And I'm excited to see what he can do. He won that Australian chip. You know, I think he came second or third in the World Supercross title too with Kenny and Eli. But I just expect him to do pretty damn good. You know, top 12 guy, top 13 guy every weekend, and maybe get into the mix, top 7 once every blue moon. So kind of like that 13th spot for Joey.
Okay, so
a hot take.
No, yeah, this one, I will say this is a dude that if he came out and podiumed every single race, I wouldn't be surprised. But I put him down here in 13th because I don't see a lot of content on him. I have really no idea where he's at, and it's Malcolm Stewart. And like, if
13th?
Malcolm came, I don't know. Like, I'm just saying, like, if Malcolm came out and won A1, I'd be like, makes sense. He's Malcolm. He's insane. And then if he got a podium at round 2, I'd be, yeah, makes sense. I mean, I might be a little surprised if he was consistently podiuming, but there's no doubt in my mind that if he came out and won A1 or got second, I wouldn't be surprised. But I have no idea where he's at. I don't know if he's absolutely ripping. I don't see much on him, really. I think he kind of, keeps a little down low, doesn't it?
I mean, that's fair. That's fair. I wouldn't be like, if we can get the Malcolm Stewart, I think it was 22, where he was battling with Tomac at A1, battling for the lead. Like, if we get that Malcolm, bro, this season would be insane.
Yeah,
right?
I would love that. Huge Malcolm fan. Just saying.
Yeah, I love Malcolm too. But 13th is kind of hot.
Yeah, Farmer new clips.
I get it. I get it. Hey, Farmer knows clips. All right, I get it. Okay, I don't mind that. All right, going into number 12. Here's my first hot take, I think, of the year. I don't think any of my other picks were hot takes, by the way. Okay, I think they were pretty good. All right.
Okay, Shane.
Don't judge. At number 12, I have Justin Barcia. Okay. I definitely think that's a hot take. However,
it's pretty hot.
I don't know if I can put him higher than some of these guys on the list. I'm looking at this, and I was even telling Doc that this might have been a stupid pick for him because his stats
it's not great.
Say otherwise, all right? Because he finished an average of 9th place in Supercross. Not the greatest for Barcia. He had some injuries. He was actually, I think he missed a few rounds too. And then for motocross, he averaged 7th place. So he averaged about an 8th place overall. So putting him at 12, definitely a hot take. But like you said, like, I really don't know what to expect with Barcia coming into the season. He could be like a Malcolm Stewart, go out and win A1, and nobody would be surprised. I think he has the most. Yeah,
he's got like 5.
I think he has the most ever, so I wouldn't be surprised. But it's that consistency problem that we have with Barcia. He always seems to get hurt, or he always seems to fade throughout the middle of the year and then brings it on at the end. But if we can get that consistency throughout the middle, he could be a top 5 guy, guaranteed.
Yeah.
But it's just that middle part of the season where he just kind of fades a little bit. So that's why I have him at 12. Hot take, I understand, but that's what I'm going with.
All right. McElrath, baby. I think he's, I don't know, man. Are you watching the vlogs,
McElrath
buddy?
at 12?
He looks so good. Like, he looks so good. And I know he's on a 250, and I know he's fallen in love with that bike, and there's a big question mark of what team he's going to be on, but I believe in him. I do. Yep, I do.
I'm dumbfounded. Sips tea, like.
Yes,
what?
sir.
Oh
It's my guy.
my
I believe.
God. Hey, I love Shane. I don't know about 12th. Maybe top 15? 12th?
I believe.
What?
Honestly,
Okay.
you want to. I think as the year goes on, people get hurt. He gels with whatever bike he gets on. I could see him being higher.
Okay. If you say so.
Come back
If
to the
you
clips,
say
brothers.
so.
Come back to the clips.
That's crazy. All right. Moving on here. At number 11, I personally have Malcolm Stewart. So somewhat of like the details of what Doc said, right? We don't really see much of his off season. I think one reason for that is he trains at Baker's, and so there's not a lot of content getting produced out there. So I do think they have like a YouTube series that they do regarding the Baker, but I'm not quite sure on that. But yeah, once again, like we don't know how he's riding, if he's flying. Like there's obviously rumors going around like social media and stuff that like he's flying, everybody's looking fast.
Everyone's going so fast.
Yeah, like that's every single year, right? So I think putting Malcolm at 11th is pretty good for me. Supercross, he averaged about 10th place. Motocross, he averaged about 9th, 8.5. So an average of 9th overall for the year. So putting him at 11th with the new like breakout years coming up with new people joining the ranks, I think is not bad. I think Malcolm, like you said, can go out and get a podium and we wouldn't be surprised, right?
Yep.
So I expect him to be honestly right around this rank all year, like 9, 10, 11. That's kind of where I put him. And that's honestly not a bad spot either, especially in this class. Like having like a top 10 guy consistently every week, being there every single weekend like he was last year, that's huge, right? And if you are there every week, you're going to be moving up, right? Those points, some people get hurt, you're going to be moving up and moving up. So I have him at 11. I love Malcolm. I hope he does extremely well. But I just got to go with my gut there at 11.
I have Barsha, not too far off from you. Just same kind of things. Just again, he could come out and do really, really well. But if Barsha can keep the same intensity from the first like 3 rounds through the whole season, Barsha will be like top 5. It's just he seems to kind of dive off towards the end of the season and lose a little bit of momentum. But yeah, other than your Shane take, everything's been fine.
Also, Barsha also trains at the Baker's Factory, by the way. So that's probably why we don't see too much of him, AP, or Malcolm's like content that much during boot camp season, which is right now. So
we just got AP posing on the back of Chevy trucks all the time.
Yeah, basically. Shout out to AP.
It's kind of fire.
All right, going into our top 10. All right, at number 10. This might be a hot take. I don't think it is personally, but for my 10th spot, I have Justin Cooper. Second full year in the 450 class. I expect him to be a top 10 guy. And honestly, I expect him to be a top 5 guy outdoors.
Same.
Just because of his starts and his consistency at being just that consistent rider throughout the entire race, right? His consistency is huge outdoors. Supercross, don't know what to kind of expect with him in Supercross. If he can get good starts, obviously he can ride up there top 7 every weekend. But I like having him at 10th because I think that's just kind of where he fits in right now. But he might have a breakout year. All right?
Yeah.
Might have a breakout year.
Looking at this, I have him in 10th as well. Looking at this and thinking about him, I'm definitely like, wow, we could put him a lot higher. But then I look at the list of people that are above him, and it's really, some of these people are, I would say, significantly better in outdoors, and some of them are significantly better in Supercross. He is just kind of good, like, across the board, like very consistent in both disciplines. So because of that, I definitely could see him being higher, but I don't know. It's always that case of, okay, if Jason Anderson can ride like he does in Supercross in outdoors, he'll be really, really good, or vice versa, right? If he can ride like he does in MX in Supercross, he'll be way up higher. But I don't know. It's a tough one for me. But yeah, I kind of have to agree. I would put Cooper at 10th.
Yeah, I mean I honestly feel like that's a good spot for him. To be fair,
Yeah, yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised though, as we talked about this in our 250s, that we'll have a breakout year or like a breakout season for someone, and Justin Cooper is that breakout season.
Yeah, yeah, 100%.
So don't be surprised when that possibly happens this upcoming
Yeah.
year. All right, going in at number 9. The first, like, this is probably a hot take. This is by far probably the biggest hot take I personally have. And that is Jorge Prado at number 9. Okay?
Interesting.
So I don't know what to expect with the Supercross. Okay, I don't know what to expect. Like, we obviously seen the clips of him race or riding at the test track, which he looks phenomenal, but racing and practicing 2 different things. Okay, he did somewhat decent last year when he was out here for the West Coast rounds, but 17 rounds of Supercross is way different than 3 or 4.
Yeah.
He did, right? So,
and they were like half mudders when he was here.
Exactly, and he's also on a brand new team, on a Kawasaki. He hasn't done any of the East Coast Supercross rounds, so he has to learn all of that, like the dirt textures, everything. And now when we get into motocross, yes, he's a 2-time world champ. Okay, I understand that, but he's really only been to like say Paula, right? Like for test and like maybe Red Bud or Ironman, right? But what about the other rounds? You know, he's going to have to learn those in one day. He only has 2 or 3 practices, and then he has to race 2 motos.
Yeah.
So I feel like, yes, he's going to do extremely well outdoors. It's probably top 5, top 6. But you have to combine Supercross and motocross together. And with that top 10 in Supercross, top 6 in motocross, I think he's a 9th place guy right now.
Yeah.
Also, side note, like I said, he's never raced these motocross tracks, and everybody above him has been to every single one of these rounds for the last like 15 years of their life, right? So
yeah, like or a champ.
Yeah, so
yeah.
Don't judge my hot take here, but I think he's 9th right now going into the season.
This one hurts for me because he's one of my all-time favorites. Anderson.
That's way too low. That's way too low.
I hope so. Like, Lord willing, Ando is just ripping this year, and I would be so happy. I kind of have to look at the only one I'll spoil because obviously I haven't said Prado yet. When I look at him, I think he's going to do really well in Soupy, probably better than a lot of people are expecting. And I think your points about him adapting to outdoors, I don't think will be as big of a deal. And I think he's going to do really well outdoors. I don't know if I'm saying he's going to win the chip or something like that, but he's going to do really, really well. And I think be fighting for podiums, top 4s, that kind of stuff consistently. And because of that, I don't think Anderson's going to be doing that. As much as that, I'm very sad. I'm very sad
all day, baby.
I'm very sad, but I try to be realistic, and not just, go off of my favorites. But yeah, very sad. If Ando comes out and just waxes everybody, I'll be the happiest man there is. So
I think he can, bro. He said he's feeling good on the bike from everything I've seen.
Yeah.
Ando is going to be in that contention for wins. He's going to be in contention for top 5s, podiums.
He has looked so good, dude.
I know, dude. That's why I'm like 9th.
It's kind of tough. I know.
Crazy, bro.
It's hard though, guys. Guys, do not judge us in the comments. Go do this yourself, and don't be a biased little nerd. You know what I mean? Like, take your personal. My friends are on here, okay? You know what I mean? Like,
true, very true, very true.
I'm putting Bogle at the top on the stars. You know what I mean?
Oh, that's funny. All right, moving on. Number 8, maybe another hot take for me, but I have Ken Roczen at number 8.
So do I.
Okay, I mean, so maybe not that big of a hot take here, because my thing for me for Ken Roczen is he averaged about 7th place in Supercross this past year. He did miss a few rounds at the end because of that crazy sequence with his shock. Okay, I get that.
Yeah.
In motocross, he did race a couple rounds of 450s. I think it was really only one round, and then he went to the 250s. So I think he raced Unadilla, skipped one, and then he went to Ironman on the 250. Don't ask me why he even did that. I don't understand.
It was sick.
Yeah, I don't get it.
Why not? It was parking.
But yeah, so with Kenny, if he doesn't do outdoors, like we really can only base this off of Supercross, and Ken Roczen can win races. All right?
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Well, he can podium basically every weekend if he really wanted to.
Here's a hot take for you. Ken Roczen would be the greatest rider of all time if he didn't turn into Iron Man. Here you go. Clip that, ship that, Let him know.
That is true. Probably would have. But going back to my points here.
Sorry.
Going back to my points, we really can only base it off Supercross. So Ken Roczen can win. He could be a podium guy. But then if you take any motocross considerations, he's a 7th to 8th guy in motocross because for some odd reason he just fades, man. I don't know if that's his health reasons.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think it's Iron Man,
Yeah, so I think you have to take that into consideration. So I think 8th spot for Kenny could potentially move up throughout the year is pretty good to start. And so I'm excited to see what Kenny can do. Hopefully he can win some races. I don't know if he actually even won a race last year. Did he win Glendale? Actually, yeah, I think he won Glendale. So
I think he won one.
Yeah, so he could definitely win a race, right? You could definitely win a race. But can he be consistent top 3 every weekend, top 4 every weekend? That I don't know. If he gets a bad start, it's hard to go through a pack filled with all these guys. So, so we both picked Kenny for number 8. Do you want to even say why? I mean, kind of.
No, same kind of things. I mean, just Ken Roczen, like I just said, has the talent to be the absolute GOAT ever, in my opinion. But he has health things. He's on the Zook. Yeah, the people above him, I think, have better equipment and are not destroyed as much as he is. Again, it's another sad one for me,
It's honestly what is the right term here? Honestly, a test to him, like going out there and being there every weekend, every year, and trying to race with all those injuries. It's honestly insane what he can do. So, but yeah, going on at number 7. This is where I put Jason Anderson. Okay, he's a top 7 guy, not 9th. Down there at 9th, man.
All right.
It's only 2 spots up. It's only 2 spots up. But for my thing here, I put Jason at number 7 because he averaged about 6th place in Supercross this past year. He averaged about 6th place in motocross. So basically his average was a 6th place rider. Now with that being said, I have a couple guys ahead of him that had breakout years last year that I think are a little bit better. So that's why I have him at number 7. And so I think Jason can win races. He can win motocross races. He could be a podium guy. We saw that. He is a champion in Supercross. If we can get the Jason Anderson of a couple of years ago where he was just fighting for those podiums, I think we have a really good season. But it also comes down to that consistency thing. Sometimes he gets that 8th place. He gets that 7th place. And that kind of ruins his season, right? And then he also likes to fight with people, which I love. Honestly, it makes great content. So,
fire.
So if we can see some more of that this year, I'll be happy with that. So, but yeah, so I have Jason at number 7, not 9.
Okay. Calm down. I have Prado there because I think that they'll do both of Anderson and Prado will do similar-ish in Supercross, but Prado will do better outdoors.
I think Jason's underrated outdoors.
Facts. I mean, hey,
I'm just saying. I think he's kind of underrated outdoors, man.
I mean, what was his? I mean,
he averaged about 5-6 every weekend.
Yeah, he's pretty good. I mean, he's a reason. He's one of my favorites. I mean, there's a reason. So
yeah. So I get the Prado thing. I get the Prado, and if all the clips that I've been seeing from Prado on Supercross, I might be the dumbest person alive. So,
but he looks a little saucy on that thing. But he looks a little Risley.
For real. All right. At number 6, I have Aaron Plessinger. He had a really good year last year. He averaged 6th place in Supercross. He averaged a 4th/5th place in motocross. So his average about a 6th place last year. That's pretty good. I'm spot on with my spot right there. Like, I think he's going to have a great year this upcoming year. If he can be a little bit more consistent in Supercross, he could potentially be fighting for that title. But it's that inconsistency that always kind of costs him. If he can win more than 1 round, maybe 2 rounds, maybe he goes out there and wins 5 rounds, he's in contention for the title. But I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen in Supercross. Motocross, a lot of guys were hurt. Okay, I understand that. but he rode freaking phenomenal outdoors, man. He really did. And so I like that 6th spot. I can see him moving up. I don't really see him moving down unless like something crazy happens. I think he's like a top 6 guy right now, and like that's set in stone. And so I'm excited what he can do. He might have like that official breakout year that we've been waiting for AP, but I don't know.
All right. Yeah, you're not gonna like this one.
If you put number 4 there, I am going to be upset.
I didn't, but
thank God.
Here's where I'm at. Okay, pretty much from this point forward, I could see any of these guys winning either chip. Put it that way. Clear my throat for this one. Cooper Webb
at number 6.
I know. Okay, Supercross. I mean, I don't know. Looking at this, I'm still just, he's a little bit crash prone. Okay, does kind of crash a lot. He did just get wadded. It was not his fault. He was looking incredible.
He was.
I mean, like literally incredible. Then got himself wadded. And I know that he said that it wasn't a big deal and there was no injury and he was just banged up. But that little hunched over hold that Cooper Webb has, I have seen that so many times and it is always bad. And I am very curious that if that was just like a kind of a BS, everything's fine, but my thumb was like pointing backwards at my forehead. You know what I mean? Like,
very true.
I don't know how much I trust what the media put out, right? Like, that's all.
I will say this. He's not the greatest outdoors, right? On the 450.
Good.
He's amazing. He's amazing. But on the 450 class, he is not the greatest outdoors. 250s, other story. We saw what he can do at Designations. We saw he's a 2-time champ, 250 class. But 450 outdoors, we don't really see much from him. Okay. I will say this, so he got 2nd last year in Supercross. Yeah.
If Coop comes out and wins Supercross, won't be surprised.
No.
I'm just curious on that thumb. So I put him a little, I snuck him down there a little bit,
I don't mind that because I put Cooper Webb at 5th. So
okay, buddy.
So I have Webb at 5th. And kind of the reason what I just stated. Yeah, he was 2nd in Supercross, but I will say this, that Tomac and Chase both got hurt at the end, and then they didn't really like rate, or I want to say Chase just missed Nashville because he crashed out, and then Tomac actually crashed out and didn't get any points for the last couple of rounds. So I think Cooper would have been about a 4 or 5 spot in the chip. But he did get 2nd. Then outdoors, he didn't really race because of the thumb injury. And then he got hurt again at Unadilla with the thumb injury. So I really don't know what to expect outdoors. He hasn't really raced, I feel like, a full season outdoors in a while. But with Cooper Webb, like you said, he can win the chip and we wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah.
100% 2-time champ. He has that dog in him. You know what I'm saying? Like, he can play mind games with everybody. And we saw that last year with Chase at Seattle, I believe it was. We saw it with Jet. I mean, Cooper, I think, might surprise a couple of people in Supercross once again. And then maybe outdoors, he can have a full healthy season, get through Supercross healthy, and we can see a full season outdoors.
If Coop's healthy, like no thumb issues, and doesn't re-injure the thumb, I think he's a title contender in both Soupy and outdoors.
Okay. I feel that. All right. So, but what do you have for number 5?
Hunter Lawrence.
That's not bad.
I could also see Hunter being the best in the field, to be honest. Like he didn't
the best in the field.
I'm just saying, I think there's times when I see Hunter and it gives me a little glimpse of potential there. Obviously, he's incredible. I could see him winning the chip as well. But again, just some consistency stuff. I'm not totally sold. This would be the year that would change my mind, especially in Supercross. If he comes out swinging in his podiums, then I think we can just expect Hunter to just get better. But yeah, I'm not totally sold on the consistency. And outdoors, again, I don't know, man. Like he did really well last year, but I don't know. There's a lot of question marks for me on this one.
So, with that being said, I put Hunter Lawrence fourth, right above
Hmm.
Cooper Webb. And I think Hunter had a semi breakout year last year. He had a breakout season in motocross, but he struggled in supercross. I think this year, coming in after a full season, a full year on that 450, I think this year is going to be the year that he does a top 5 in supercross. And you already saw what he can do outdoors. He was a top 4 guy consistently outdoors, a top 2 guy towards the end, right? It was chasing him and chase him and Pless, right? Top 3 guy. So I think he had a semi breakout year. I think he's going to have a somewhat of a breakout season in Supercross his upcoming year. I think his average last year was about 8th, 9th. Throw that out of the water, bro. That's going to be a top 5, top 6 like average next year, in my opinion. So that's why I have him above Cooper, because I think he's going to do extremely well. He's going to be very consistent. Plus, he has that outdoor season under his belt under a 450, getting top 3, right? Top 2, I should say, right? And Cooper just doesn't race outdoors, so I don't know what to expect. So I put him a little bit above Cooper Webb. And I expect Hunter to be a top 4 guy next year, top 5 guy at least next year.
Fourth, AP.
It's not bad.
AP is consistent. Like just always is there, doesn't get hurt a lot, right? And is always he gets great starts, especially outdoors, and is always up there and has the speed to get a podium, has the endurance. Like fitness doesn't seem like it's an issue. Speed isn't an issue. It's just like AP is, in my opinion, trying to be as unbiased as possible, like as solid gets across the board, right? Like
100%.
maybe doesn't have the highest highs, but he also doesn't have the lowest lows. Like he is the most solid rider in the field.
And I think we saw that last year. I mean, he averaged 6th place in Supercross, 5th place in motocross, which we saw a bunch of the motos outdoors. He was top 3, right, towards the end. So I don't mind that 4th spot. Obviously, I have him at 6, but like I said, he's a top 6 guy. So putting him at 4th doesn't surprise me. So
he's really, really good. And yeah, I think that's where
okay, top 3, baby. Now, I feel like this could be a little tricky. It kind of depends on what Doc here has. I don't know what he has for top 3 yet. But I think for me personally...
Can we say it at the same time?
No, let's go one at a time. One at a time. All right, so top 3 here. My 3rd overall right now is going to be Eli Tomac. Okay. Last year, he was phenomenal in Supercross until he got hurt. He did average only about a 5th spot in Supercross, maybe 4th, 5th spot in Supercross average. And then obviously in motocross, we didn't really see him until the end of the year, which he did phenomenal at. I think he did the last 2 rounds, maybe the last 1 round. I don't forgot, but he was already like back to his normal self almost. But coming into the season, he just won the world Supercross title. Not really that means anything to him, but he is coming in healthy. He even said on social media that he is coming in like almost as like fast as he was that 22nd year, that 22 year. So that should be really good things. But I can't put him top 2 or 1 or 2 because there's 2 other guys that set in stone were better last year than Tomac. So that's why I have him at number 3. But I wouldn't be surprised he goes out and wins Supercross. He wins motocross. He wins Nations at Ironman, and he's basically Captain America all over again. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I have him at number 3 yet, because I have 2 guys that are better than him right now.
Sexton.
Hot take. That's a hot take. Get out of here.
Listen, the old front's gonna tuck, brother. I'm just saying.
He didn't have one front tuck last year. Don't say that.
Wait,
maybe he did. I think.
Yeah, I'm like 100% confident. I can think of multiple races that his front tire MX bikes.
Chase the goat.
Okay. Yeah. I
I
don't
mean,
I don't think man, like outdoors incredible, indoors very good, not incredible.
he's a supercross champion.
Yeah, yeah, I mean, yeah, but like, you know what I'm saying? So are the other guys. Like, so is basically everyone on this list, you know?
I feel that. I feel that. It's really hard to like. I feel like going top three right now is just it's gut feeling, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
It really is. Like you can
And
have,
preference, like,
yeah, preference, gut feeling. I feel like you throw the statistics out. Top three can win any night, in
yeah,
my
yeah.
opinion. Any night they can win. So
I
really
mean,
just preference.
we obviously have the same top three, just
It's
in
just
different order. So it's like they're the guys, kind. You
yeah.
know what I mean? Like, so.
Um. Okay, so I get that. And number two for me, I have Chase Sexton. Okay, so Supercross didn't have a great year. First year on the bike on the KTM and Supercross, he struggled all year with his setups. Yeah, I don't think it was a great year for Supercross for him. Outdoors though, he found his groove. I mean, when he came back from 40th to first at Hangtown, holy crap, that was the best ride I've ever seen. One of the
Yeah, it
best
was
rides
pretty
I've
good.
ever seen, I should say.
Very
Let
good.
me rephrase that. His average last year outdoors was second. Obviously, with Jet getting hurt, that average should have been probably a little bit higher than what it was. Um, but to me, he's the second best guy. He was top three, say top four in Supercross last year before say that Nashville crash. He was first overall in motocross. Yeah, he got hurt at SMX. Don't judge him. Okay, someone landed on him. Did cross jump a little bit, but I have Chase number two.
A lot of it. That was like my cross jump on Lipos that cost him the chip in MX bikes. It was wild.
All I
So
gotta say is Chase is top two, and it might not even be two. Okay, so that's why I have him at number two, and I think he's gonna win Supercross potentially. He has a chance to win it. I shouldn't have said that, but he might win it. And then you all know what he could do outdoors. Like we saw it.
yeah,
We literally saw what he could do outdoors. He was before when Jet came back from injury, right? He obviously got hurt at Hangtown, but then like that couple like week stretch, Chase was battling with him consistently and almost overtaking him. So I think
almost.
going down to the wire, Chase is top two, in my opinion.
Jet.
You have Jet number two?
My pick is Jet for number two. Hear me out, brothers. I just believe in Tomac, to be honest. I think Tomac doesn't get hurt as much as these other guys. His ankle was a freak thing, but when's the last time Tomac got hurt on his own? When's the last time that he crossed somebody and got landed on? He's the most consistent. I mean, unless you can prove me wrong, I was homeschooled and I did fall down the stairs, so my brain doesn't really work very well. But if you can find something that says that Tomac is more consistent than the other two, or is less consistent than the other two, I will stand corrected, brothers. But I can't, and I don't think that's true. And if Tomac is riding just as good, if not better than he was 2017, Tomac was insane. But I think that there's some trouble there. And Jet, honestly, these off-season races, I've seen some kinks in the armor, and
That's fair.
he didn't finish either of the off-season races that he entered,
Now that you
right?
said that, that is true.
Because of crashes. Now, Doc, he got cross-jumped, and I mean, yes. However, to me, like, there was a little bit of a lack of focus there in that, and maybe some complacency or whatever. And maybe those little crashes, like, I don't think he got hurt. Maybe that'll kick him in the butt and he's going to come back like super locked in and it's just going to be GG's for everybody. But I saw some kinks in the armor over the off season, and I did not see any kinks in the armor. I saw nothing but shining armor from Eli Termac. And plus it would just be cool to see Tomac go out just dominating.
It is his last full year for Tomac. So I
I mean,
wouldn't be
so they
surprised if
say.
yeah, true. I
He
wouldn't be
better
surprised if he
say
goes out and
that.
dominates, man.
Yeah.
To be fair with you. So I get it. That hot take though, that's crazy. Okay, so I
Eh,
personally have Jet as number 1. I think it's almost undoubtedly that you have to put him there, to be fair with you,
You don't
because
have to. I didn't.
I think you have to, man. He won Supercross. He was probably going to win Motocross before he got hurt. He won SMX. Yes, there was probably some kinks in armor, lack of focus in those outdoor races. I will give him the benefit of the doubt. He wasn't racing his actual bike. Like, I think in Australia, it was a production bike, like right off the floor. But Hunter did win on that bike, right? So
Yep.
I don't know. Maybe like you are mentioning, a little lack of focus. Maybe that kicks him into gear for this upcoming season. But Jet is a man right now. I think it's his speed is unmatched. I do think though. I think other guys are going to catch up to him or creeping up to him a little bit. I think those guys are picking up their speed, their consistency, and say for example, Tomac. If he's consistent top 3 every weekend, and Jet has some of those weird moments that sometimes he did last year, like if you go back and watch a couple rounds, jumping off the side of the triple, crashing, crashing and getting T-boned by Barsha. Like there are some moments where Jet does do some random stuff, right? So if Tomac say or Chase say get top 3 consistently, Jet maybe doesn't win. However, I do think you have to put him number 1 just based off of last year's results and the motocross season from the year prior, because he won outdoors, he won SuperMotocross, he won Supercross, he won SMX. Like he's the best guy right now, in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I'm just curious, and there's a question mark, and it's kind of a big question mark for me of when he comes under pressure, what happens?
That is
Because
true.
most of the races that he's dominated, like nobody's had anything for him. Other than the couple outdoor races with Chase, but then Chase got hurt and then he didn't like there wasn't any pressure and he was just gone, 40 seconds out, 20 seconds out, whatever. And he could manage. I agree with you wholeheartedly that everyone else is kind of figuring out that pace and is maybe he is the fastest, but I don't think it's going to be, he's just going to get the whole shot and it'll be 8 seconds on lap 3 and everyone else is just, fighting for second anymore. And so if there's pressure, how does old Jetty hang?
That like if he doesn't get a start and say he gets a 7th to 8th place start in Supercross and say the title contenders are 1 through 3, I think
Yeah.
it will be tougher this year to go through the pack and win a race than it was say the last year in Supercross. In motocross, I think it's way different
Yeah.
of a circumstance. Jet is just unbelievable outdoors.
Yeah.
But we will have a Tomac for a full season if he's healthy, right? And
Yeah.
we all know what Tomac can do outdoors, right? So
I
I see what you mean. Everybody's creeping up, or what I mean, right? But
yeah,
what
yeah.
you said, but I still think you got to put him number 1, man. I do
I
love
just
Tomac, but
the top 3 I feel like are so close. I just kind of had to look at in the last 3 years, other than Tomac's weird ankle thing, which I think everyone could agree was like a freak thing.
yeah, his Achilles, yeah.
Who has been the most consistent? Like who has crashed less out of seasons? And I would have to give that to Tomac. And if we're saying that they're all pretty much the same speed, other than Jet, who might be a little bit faster, or Chase that might be a little bit faster, like maybe Tomac isn't the fastest of the 3, but I personally think that Tomac has the best shot at not crashing out of a series.
Uh,
Or at least crashing and putting himself back in 12th because of a front tug.
that is true. It's very true. We don't see many crashes from Tomac, just straight up, So, and crazy, his Achilles, he didn't even crash. It was in a transition. So, even more
And
of a fluke.
And an off Tomac, then I have to look, is an off Tomac better than an on Ken Roxon?
Yes.
Possibly. Right. Right.
I think
Yes.
so. I think he is.
And is an off Tomac better than Prado in Soupy?
In Supercross,
Probably.
yes.
Outdoors? I doubt. But in Soupy, probably. Is an off Tomac better than Cooper Webb outdoors? I would say so. So
I
then
get you.
So then if we're saying, all right, let's take Tomac's not going to crash, but he's going to have off races. His off races are still pretty good, brother. I think we can all agree that as long as Vince isn't racing, it's going to be a great season.
Very true, man. Yeah, so, but hey, you got Tomac 1, I got Jet 1. Hey, I love that. You know, I want to see what happens, man. It's going to be a great 2025 year with everybody coming in pretty much healthy. So that should be very, very good. Last year, I feel like we had a couple of injuries coming into the year. And hopefully everybody stays healthy. With motocross, anything can happen. We saw that throughout the year, fluke injuries, all that. We can get a full season of all these guys. Bro, the year would be insane. Like, probably the best year of all time if all of the guys stay healthy. So, hey, that's our top 22. That's a pretty good list. Some hot takes, pretty good takes, I think. So,
should comment your takes down below, and especially comment if you agree with me.
I feel like you will have a lot of people agreeing with you, Loki, to be honest.
That's because they're good takes.
That's true. But all right, if you guys enjoy this, make sure you guys hit the like and sub button. Thank you guys so much for all the love on the last video. It did insane from you guys. So thank you guys very, very much. I know Doc and I appreciate that a lot. Make sure you guys hit the sub button on this. Make sure you guys hit the like button on this. Next week, we will be doing our 450 predictions for Supercross. And so make sure you guys stay tuned for that. And then the week after that, we'll do the 250s because we just gotta have we just want to have a set in stone lineup for the West Coast and East Coast. Yeah, so just be on the lookout for all that. We'll keep you guys posted. Thank you guys so much for all the love, and we'll be back next week. So we're out.
Peace.